Yo, what's going on, snipers, and welcome back to our Dallas Stars franchise mode here in NHL 20. So in last episode we had the draft and the re-sign stage, and I think we have a good chance of being a pretty good team this year again, but if we aren't, it's not the end of the world. We do have some good free agent signings that we're looking at for this team's season, because we did let go of quite a bit of players, including like Mark Recchi and Dallas Drake, just to kind of get rid of those veterans and bring in some youth. As well as we let go of former fourth liner Jake Wells just to free up room for Antilla, because Antilla was doing really good in the AHL, so I think we might want to give him a better shot at the NHL this season and see if he could become that sniper that he was in the minors. But yeah, let's get into free agency. So we have some pretty decent signings to make. The first one is a pretty good fit for our top line, because we do need a top line left winger and somebody that could fit anywhere pretty much in our system. And that is going to be Mr. Was it Cesar DeSantis? No, it's Carl DeSantis. Yeah, 26 years of age from Quebec. As you can see, he's got some good overall statistics. His offensive awareness is at a 94 and his defensive awareness is at a 96. So he's going to be probably a guy that could be used in a lot of situations. As you can see, he also fits our first line and our penalty killing units. So he's going to be a good person to bring into this team. So we're going to bring him in for a multi-year deal since he's only 26. Might as well. And if he doesn't pan out, we could trade him away. And we'll give him 6.6 for 4. And then we're also going to be signing some depth guys just because we need those. We don't really need any defensemen this year, but I was looking at maybe bringing in Nicholas Lidstrom, but at the same time, it just doesn't make sense for us really, even though he is really good. Like, a lot of these guys are really good. This OFD that's elite as well would be nice, but we already have like 2 OFDs that are jumping into the lineup this upcoming season, so it kind of makes no sense to do so. But we are going to bring in some depth forwards. We already have Martinson as a depth guy, so who was the guy I was looking at? There was definitely somebody I was looking at. I think it might have been Reeves. Yeah, it was Reeves. Reeves fits all our units, so he would be a good depth guy to bring in, so we'll sign him for a 1-year deal. Give him exactly what he wants, even though it is a bit of a high price. And we will also give a contract to, that guy's an RFA. I don't want to sign RFAs. Thornton, maybe? This guy's good defensively, and he does fit our 4 line and our power play line, so you know what, we'll sign him as well just for fun. Even if these guys aren't good enough for the NHL, they could end up being an AHLer and helping that team win, maybe. And I think that's all we wanted to do. Yeah, that's all we want to do. Okay, so let's see if we could get those guys, and then we'll advance to next season, but we'll also take a look first at all the free agent signings and the off-season in general. And yeah, I'm excited for this season, though, because I'm really excited to see how Pavelski plays, considering he was an undrafted player. And then also I'm really excited about Patrick, because Patrick was a medium elite that we drafted in, I think, a 3rd or 4th round a couple years back. So Thornton is accepted, same with Reeves, and we're waiting on DeSantis, who's accepted as well. So we got our signings. We should be a pretty good team going forward, but if we aren't again, it's like I said, it's not the end of the world, because we could kind of go through a bit of a retooling phase where you get young guys into the lineup and all that. So there's a trade between New York and Philadelphia. So Greg Johnson and a 3rd head to New York for a 1st, Moss, and a 3rd. Our 1st Moss and a 3rd. I think I said a 3rd at the beginning. I don't know why I read that. So a lot of our RFAs were holding out, and they should be all accepting soon because, oh, somebody's actually qualified, Jamie Haynes. We would get a 3rd round pick. I mean, we would have to use Taves as depth, and I would rather keep Jamie Haynes. But for 3 years is the only thing. You know, I'll match this offer. I think I might use Jamie Haynes more as a depth guy over Tony Taves, or whatever his name was. I don't remember Taves. Oh, Braden Taves. Yeah, I'll match this offer, even though I don't necessarily have to. I might end up just trading him away, though, because he's still kind of young, like he's like 24 or 23. Sheldon Hewitt's accepted for the AHL, same with Yar. There's a trade, a 1st and a 3rd head to Anaheim for Hybert into 4ths. Ezra Stafford has accepted, so that's the AHL goalie. And Patrick Ward's accepted. I think that might be almost all of ours. We'll check just to make sure. But yeah, let's take a look at what free agent signings are happening this offseason, see if there's been any big signings. There wasn't any huge names in free agency, I don't think, of guys that are actually made by me in this build, but we'll see anyways. Just quickly go through this. So somebody got successfully qualified by San Jose. But yeah, a lot of these guys are now not real players, so we might not look much at free agency the next few seasons just because it's a lot of guys that aren't ones I made. And that was more of the point when I was looking at free agents, to show you guys how the league has been changing. But it seems like a lot of these guys are just draft picks and guys I've never even heard of that are just fake players. There's a couple guys that are still playing, which is good, but a lot of them have retired. Jim Storm is still there, Joe Sacco. Former player Jake Wells signs with the Pittsburgh Penguins, so he's off to the Eastern Conference. Glenn Wesley in Sweden, so he's still playing. Chernka signs in Anaheim. Didn't he start in Czech Republic in this? Because if so, that's kind of cool that he signed in Anaheim, because he actually played for Anaheim and was a draft pick by Anaheim in real life. So more players going to their real life teams, which is really awesome to see. Anybody else that's intriguing? Yeah, I'm probably not going to look at much more free agent related stuff because most of these players aren't real. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Travis Green signs in New York with the Islanders. I think that might be a re-signing. So I think he started on the Islanders actually in this build, so. Okay, yeah, there's not really any big signings. We're not going to look at the rest because it's taking too long. We'll find out when we get to the playoffs eventually if we're playing against players that actually played in 1994 or not. So yeah, let's advance to the start of the season, and then I'll probably make a jump cut with the edited lines and all that, just so we can kind of see what our roster looks like. And then we'll start up next season. We'll probably do a couple months again, like maybe half the season if we can. Dorset, who we just drafted, a first, and Callahan for Tverdovsky and Ricci. No thank you, Russia. First and Verkunen for Matvichuk, Projaska, and a fourth. So Matvichuk's been dealt multiple times in the last 2 years, I think. Because I think he was dealt at the deadline last year. Ridley Grieg, I think that is. And Alexander Godiniuk for a first, a second, and Bouillon. No thank you. We had Godiniuk a few years ago. He's dropping off a lot probably. Okay, so we are in September now, so I'm going to make a quick jump cut to our edited lines, and I'll see you guys in a second. Okay guys, so our lineup looks pretty good. There is one concern that I'll get to in a second, but our forward core looks pretty good. We got DeSantis, Wong, and Clancy, and it has a +3 chemistry boost, so that's nice. We have Holwig, Lindell, and Sador, Keith Drake, Medano, and until, as you can see, Medano is dropping off even more. So he might even drop more during the season, which means we might have to find a new third line center, and then we could use him maybe as a fourth liner. And then we also have Knights, Franzen, and Ewan. As for our defense, we got Helmer and Pavelski, +3 chemistry boost. Pavelski is already listed as a top 4 at 20 years of age, which is incredible for an undrafted guy. Then Patrick's also up to an 81 and listed as a top 4, so I'm really excited for the two of those guys. They're both also on the power play, so they should get a lot of points. And then we also have Ozelinch, Lindback, and Soleil. As for our goaltending, we got Stiljaguer and Turco, but there is one thing I'll get to in a second. And there's our scratch guys, Haynes, Martinson, and Reeves. But in the minors at the moment, we had to send down Thorensen, who was one of our depth signings. We might call him up if there is an injury in the middle of the season that we cannot replace. And then also, I think I'm going to be trading away Marty Turco potentially already, just to make DePenta have a chance at the NHL, because he is listed as a backup, and he's 24 or already as a high elite. So I would rather give him the chance. So we're going to call him up already, and I am going to have to try and trade Marty Turco because I think I want to give Depenta that shot instead. Like, I don't know if that's the right move to make is the thing. Yeah, I think it might be the right move to make. How did Turco play again last season? He was solid, but nothing special. So, yeah, we're going to call up. Actually, we can't really call him up at the moment because we would be over the player limit. So, really, we're going to have to go here first. And let's quickly make that Marty Turco trade. Find a trade for him. Something just for picks, probably. And then we'll call up Depenta. And then we'll start up the season simulation. So, this might be a bit of a longer episode, and I apologize if it is. Let's go propose trade. Yeah, this is definitely going to be a longer episode. Just find any team that's willing to take Turco. Yeah, I was not expecting really Depenta to grow that much, but he guess he did. Anybody want Turco? Not Chicago. Does Chicago? No, Chicago doesn't. He's going to try and make it realistic. Eastern Conference team, Florida, you want him? Okay, we'll take back a second round pick maybe? That's a bit too high, probably. Third round pick. Yeah, third round pick should be able to get it done. And that's rejected, so I'm guessing we're going to have to get a fourth round and maybe a fifth. If not, I'll take just a fourth. Actually, yeah, we probably can't get back a fifth. Fourth, rejected still. It's probably because he has 1 year left or something. We'll give him... Yeah, we'll just take a fifth. It's a steal. Come on, Florida. It's a steal. You're getting a good backup goalie for 1 year for a fifth round pick. I guess we're taking back a sixth. Still rejected? Are you kidding me? Wow, okay, we might not... Yeah, let's not trade with Florida then. They're trying to fleece us for a seventh rounder. Let's turn him to the Islanders where he could play with former goalie Evgeny Nabokov for a fourth round pick, maybe. Too many goalies, okay. Never mind. Don't know why they want him then. We'll take a fifth, Ottawa. This should be good for you. Come on. Rejected still. I am really surprised that teams are not willing to pay a fifth round pick for an 81 overall backup goalie. Is it just because of the salary hit or what? How about a fourth round pick, Quebec? And that is rejected. Okay, this is really strange. And I apologize because I know this episode's going to be a bit longer now. Fifth round pick, rejected. Okay, I'm just going to take back a seventh because I just want to get this deal done with because I don't know why teams are not willing to pay. There you go, seventh round pick and call up Depenta. Perfect. That was literally a steal for Quebec to get Turco for a seventh rounder. Like, that is kind of ridiculous. And we'll call up Depenta. Hopefully Depenta could be a really good NHL backup goalie while we wait for him to actually become a starter. Hopefully he's a starter by next season. If not, Jaguar would be still starter probably. So there you go. Depenta is now in our lineup. Okay, so let's get this season started. I'm actually kind of excited about this third line because Drake and Antil are both... Drake's a really good playmaker and Antil's a really good shooter. So maybe the two of them combined will be a very deadly lineup. I don't know. Considering you're playing also with a veteran in Mike McDaniel, who knows what that third line could do. So yeah, let's get a couple months of the season simulated because we are short for time. We'll probably go up till January 1st. And yeah, hopefully those young defensemen produce. I'm really excited for them. Pavelski and Patrick, will the two of them maybe win a Norris in one of their first few seasons? I don't think so, but who knows. Auto assigned promotion nights, there you go. I don't really care how we do in the preseason, but hopefully during the regular season we could be a bit more consistent of a team because that's been pretty much the main concern with this team over the last few years is we just cannot be consistent. The Ducks are already trying to trade Pavel Turnka. They just literally signed him to a 5-year deal and they want to trade him right away. That's pretty funny. And it's already in the preseason only. Like, literally, he's not even played a full season game yet with you, and you already want to trade away a guy you signed 5 years to. Yeah, the AI is pretty dumb in this game sometimes. Game against Germany's an OT loss, and St. Louis to end the preseason, which has been kind of around 500-ish, which is not a surprise with this roster. Is a 4-4 tie, okay. So a preseason of 2-2, 1-1. Let's just see who led us in points during that preseason out of curiosity, and it was Holwig. Hopefully we have a good year from him. We brought him in last year, and he was decent. I think he had like 50-something points, but he was nothing super special. Let's go 1 month and see how this team simulates with the new players in the roster and also with Depenta as a backup. So we literally have 3 guys in their first seasons in the NHL. Actually, 4. Yeah, 4. The 2 defensemen, Antilla and Depenta. And I'm pretty sure all 4 of those guys have won the Calder Cup before in the minors. So hopefully they could bring some winning energy to this team. As we lose 2 games to start the season, but we didn't beat the Sharks 4-2. So good rebound game there. Game against Germany, and Antilla's already been injured. Well, that blows. 3 games into his career and he's already injured. So we're already going to have to make a line change. He probably already has his first NHL goal, my guess. But who's going to come into the lineup in replacement? We'll go probably with Reeves. Yeah, I'll probably go with Reeves for wingers, and then Martinson will play as a forward depth guy. Or center depth guy. We tied with Germany 4-4. Game against Quebec, who has Marty Turco now, for a 7th round pick. 3-2 win, nice. Hopefully Turco was in that game. Game against Toronto, 4-2 loss. Okay, we're kind of playing like what we normally do, which is win a couple and then lose a couple, then tie a couple. Like, this team just is consistently inconsistent. So I guess they are consistent. That's kind of an interesting term to put it as. They're consistent about being inconsistent. That's pretty meta. So Reeves will take out a lineup and we'll put back in Antilla. Did Antilla actually score at all yet? No, he didn't. He's a +1 though. So at least that's good. He doesn't have the greatest defensive awareness, and we've dropped 3 straight games. Yeah, this team is still really bad, and I'm really kind of getting frustrated with this franchise mode in general, just because this team doesn't know how to win games, regardless of having good overall players or not. Like, I don't think it's our coaching, and it's not our goaltending, it's not our defense. I don't know what it is. But we are 3-6-2, so, and we are still early into the season, so who knows, we could still maybe make the playoffs this season. But I'm not gonna say we are for sure. I feel like we're gonna be a team that misses again, but who knows? Because I'm pretty hyped up on those defensive prospects. As we win 3 straight games, then the month, okay, that's good. 5-6-2, so not a bad first month, not a great one either. And currently, Sidor's leading with 11 points in 13 games, and he's got 7 goals already. So our forward core is actually doing better to start the season than last year, because last year we had a lot of guys under point per game, but Sidor is very close to being point per game right now. Hopefully he has a big season from us. Let's go another month. We won't check player stats until we get to the halfway point, just because I'm curious still on Pavelski, Patrick, and then also Depenta, as well as Antilla, I guess, to an extent. But mostly excited about Pavelski because he was an undrafted guy. Because I've never seen an undrafted guy grow that fast and be that good. Because literally we signed him just over a year ago in free agency, and he had a really good year down there in Texas, like with 40-something points. And he's already in the NHL as a top 4 defenseman. Well, he's playing actually on the top 2. Varakis a 3rd and a 4th for Pat Falloon in a 3rd. No thank you, Washington. I don't want that bust. Even though he does probably simulate decently in this. But yeah, we have been okay actually in the last little while. Because we were on a 3-game winning streak and we lost a game, then we've won now 2 in a row again. But there's a loss to Russia and there's a win over Calgary. So we're kind of still being that kind of 500-ish team, but it's a decent start to the year. Better than I was expecting to, really. Especially with all the new additions, because I don't know how some guys actually fit into our lineup a lot. And we don't actually have an assistant coach or an associate coach yet, because I forgot to sign them in last episode. Or in this episode, I think. Yeah, in this episode. So Felipe Sexton on waivers, it's a goalie. No thank you, don't really need one. Unless I just want to send him down to the minors. Which I technically could have done. Because we don't really have any goalies down there in the minors at the moment. because Ezra Stafford's never going to make it, probably. Game against Detroit after we lost to them recently. Is another loss. And then we win against Russia, okay. We're still hovering around 500, which I'm liking. 10-10-4. 3 more games left this month. There's another loss to Jets this time. So we're losing against divisional opponents, which is not good. Game against LA after we get a trade offer. No, I don't want to give up those prospects and stuff for Chris Drury. Even though Chris Drury is pretty good of a player, I don't really want him. 4-2 win over LA, and game against St. Louis to end off the month of November is going to be a 4-3 loss. So we're 11-12-4. So yeah, this is a pretty standard season for us where we're just winning and losing. We do have a guy that's over point per game, which is surprising because last year we didn't. And we are currently not in a playoff spot. We're actually really close to that wild card spot though. So not too bad so far. Let's go another month and then we'll take a look at how we're doing around the league. And then that'll be it for this episode. This is just a primer for next episode. Hopefully we make the playoffs this season. I'm not going to say we are going to, but hopefully we do. Because I would like to get these young guys some experience, but at the same time, it's not the worst case scenario. 6-5 win over the Flyers, which is nice because the Flyers were really good last season. Because Lindros had a lot of awards in the offseason, 4 awards. We lose to Edmonton though, 5-2. Game against the Sharks in San Jose. We might have an injury or a trade. Nope. 6-4 win though. Another trade offer. It seems like a lot of people want Dorsett, but I'm not giving up Dorsett. Even if that does include Sergei Zubov in it. Zubov has 1 year left. But I think I made him a two-way defenseman, so he could fit in our system maybe. It'd be interesting to bring in Zubov to Dallas, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to. I would rather see him go to a playoff team. Because at the moment, I don't know if we are going to be one of those or not. We lose 2 straight games, both really badly. Or not really badly, but still letting in a lot of goals. Game against the Pens is a win. Yeah, this team is kind of simulating last season where we're losing a couple games and then we're winning a couple. It's just a really weird season sim. I don't know why we sim like this, but oh well. We haven't simmed good since we won the Stanley Cup. I think we won the President's Trophy that year as well, if I'm not mistaken. We tie with Czech Republic, which is okay. Game against the Rangers, and then we got 4 more games left. 8-2 loss. Yikes. Yeah, Deventa might not be doing that good as a backup, or Jaguar's just doing a really bad job as a starter. And we're getting offered Philippe Boucher, which is kind of cool because he's also a former Dallas Star in real life. Interesting. I can't accept that deal, though, because I don't want to give up prospects and picks right now. Because this team doesn't really have much of a bright future ahead of it, unless we keep a lot of the young guys. We beat Chicago 4-1. Game against Hartford, and then we got 2 more games left. We win against Hartford 5-4. Yuri Sliger, that might not be that bad, but I'm not going to do that deal because I think Sliger's a defensive defenseman. Game against Buffalo is another win, and game against Czech Republic's another win. So we're above 500 now, 19-17-5, and we're currently in a playoff spot. So not a bad first half of the season, actually. 47 points also for Trevor Wong, so he's definitely having a good rebound year because last year was a really down year for him. But yeah, we're having actually not that bad of a sim so far. Hopefully it continues in the next episode because I've said that in the past where we have a good start to the season and then we end up falling apart in the next half. Let's take a look at player stats so far. We'll sort by forwards. And yeah, let's go centers. So Wong's over point per game. Lundell's just under point per game. Both of them are not that great plus minus wise, but still pretty solid. Medano's having a good year as well, despite his age. He almost has as much points as he did last year already. So that third line must be really good, or just the power play unit's clicking. Franzen's got 12 points and is a -5, and Reeves has no points as a depth guy, so kind of concerned on the plus minus count, but whatever. Left wing wise, Sador's got 41 points in 41 games, so he's point per game. And DeSantis has got 26 points and an even 0. Not a bad signing, but I don't mean he's not really. What's he making against 6? He's kind of doing decent. He's on pace for 52 points. It's okay. Drake's got 23 points on that third line alone, so he's been actually pretty good. He's actually listed as a second liner. So we might have to move him up in the lineup eventually, but once again, he only has 1 goal. Like, literally, this guy has 2 goals in his last 123 games, but he's got a lot of assists. Right wingers, Clancy's got 25 points, so he's kind of struggling, but he's a +6. Interesting. He doesn't have any power play points. Is he even on the power play unit? He should be on the power play unit. If he's not, I'm going to actually put him on the power play unit. Holweg 24, and Till's got 15, so he's having a pretty good rookie season. That's why I wanted to play him. Ewan's got 9, and Knights has got only 8, as an 81 on the 4th line. But he is only getting 751 on ice, so he's not even getting any penalty kill time. Defenseman, Ozelinch has got 17 points, -4. Helmer's a +9 with 16 points. Pavelski's got 16 points in his first season, and he's up to an 82. Oh, wow. Maybe he'll end up turning out to be a medium elite, but this is not that bad of a season for him. I mean, 16 points as an 82 is okay. Like, he's not producing as the same level as he was in the AHL, but he's on pace for like a 32-point season as an undrafted defenseman. 10 for Soleil, 9 for Lindback, and 8 for Patrick. So Patrick's been worse even. So a medium elite guy that got drafted in the 4th round is doing worse than a guy that got undrafted, and yeah, he's younger. So yeah, Pavelski is a very interesting case. And then goaltending wise, Jaguar has been fantastic in terms of winning, but oh my god. Well, maybe we shouldn't have traded Turco. So Jaguar's not got a good goals against and save percentage really, but he's been actually winning a lot of games. Like, without him, we would be not even close to a playoff spot. But Depenta has been horrific. 1-9 to start the year with an 855. Okay, I'm telling you right now, we're probably going to have to send Depenta back down to the minors. And we're going to probably have to find a backup in next episode. Because if Depenta keeps on playing like this, we're not a playoff team. And even if we get to the playoffs, he would not be a good simulator. Like, didn't he play a couple years ago as a backup? Yeah, he was 1-1 there, and he was pretty solid. But to come into his first season as a backup and do that bad, like a 4.49 goals against, yikes. Yeah, we're going to have to find a backup in next episode, I think. I'm going to quickly show you guys the trading block. But one sec, let's just take a look at what we've been doing good at. So we are in a playoff spot, which is good. We're scoring 3.29 goals, but we're allowing way more than we're scoring. Yeah, we're still in a playoff situation, which is weird. Our power play has been good, and our penalty kill has been horrific. So we need to kind of change up our goaltending situation. Let's take a quick look at the trading block, and then that'll be it for this episode. But yeah, I think we need to find a new goalie. I just don't know who. Hopefully there's one that's decent on the block. I don't know why I traded Turco away. I thought Turco was... Like, maybe Quebec wants to give up Turco again. Does Quebec have Turco on the block? No, they do not. But we might still try and trade back for Turco again. You know, I did give up got a 7th rounder from. But we need a goalie. At least for backup. Because holy hell, I don't know if I want to keep Depenta in net. I don't think he's going to turn it around at a 1-9 record with a 455 goals against. So there's this Niedermeyer guy. Actually, that might be the perfect goalie to bring in. He's not very good of a goalie. He was a starter last season, but now he's playing more as a backup role in Florida. Huh. Anybody else interesting? Or is the rest not as good? I don't know if it's or if it's just the goaltending. Because the goaltending in general hasn't been that good, but still, that's just horrific, the wins and losses for Depenta. Kravchenko's not really anything. He's in the AHL. There's another goalie, Pellick, medium elite. He doesn't got really much trade value, though. Probably because he's not really looking like he's going to pan out. Tommy Salo. Tommy Salo. He's not that bad either. He has played some years as a starter. He might not be that bad to bring in as a backup. Or we could just bring back Turco again, but I don't know. There's some interesting things out there if we want to make trades for other parts, but I don't know if we want to do that. Like Yuri Slager, is he a defense? No, he's two-way. And that is it for the block. So anyways, guys, that is going to do it for this episode of our Dallas Stars franchise mode. So in next episode, we'll probably look for a new backup goalie, or we might try and run DePenta still, because it's still kind of like only halfway through the season, but DePenta's been horrific. I don't know if it's the defense or not, because maybe we just need to get a better defenseman for that top six instead of, let's actually take a quick look at our lines. See, it could be our defense that's the main problem. Like, maybe we want to move on from... Who is badly minus here? Yeah, maybe we want to move on from Lindback. He's a minus 10. I mean, all of our defensive pairings haven't been that good. Helmer's been really good. And Pavelski's been solid because he's been playing with Helmer. But, yeah, we might need to find a new defenseman for the top six. Maybe we trade for Sergei Zubov. And, yeah, or we maybe trade also for a new backup, because I'm not really excited about DePenta so far. So let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you guys next time.